So we want to know, what are the causes of primary infertility? Shouldn't a woman get pregnant when she wants it?
All right, so thank you for that. Well, so you've asked me 2 questions. Okay, so let's start. Get pregnant when she wants to. Yes, it's nice for, we talk about the basic rights of anybody, that you should have a right to decide when you want to get pregnant. Okay, that's one of the fundamental human rights, that a woman should be able to decide when she wants to get pregnant. However, for the woman, unlike the men, we have a biological clock. Okay, and that's why people say the woman's biological clock is ticking. All right, so sometimes when we decide, because of other things, to kind of delay conception, it may backfire. Okay, because for a woman, the age is very, very, very important, extremely important. Unlike men, and the reason is just simple. Men keep producing sperm, so they keep producing new sets of sperms every 74 days. The woman is not like that. When a female child is in her mother's womb, she has about 6 to 7 million egg-containing follicles. When she's born, she has 1 to 2 million egg-containing follicles. That means before she even starts life, the egg-containing follicles die off. And by the time she attains puberty, when she's ready when she has the ability to start reproducing, she has about 300,000 egg-containing follicles left. Okay, that's when she's in her teens. And so as she gets older, the egg-containing follicles keep dying off. And at the end of the day, by the time she is like 35, there's actually a sharp decline in reproduction. So yes, a woman, we all have rights to decide when we want to conceive at any time. But for a woman, you must always have that at the back of your mind, that when you delay, there are consequences for delay. And if you want to delay, you must also try to sort out, to try and prevent those consequences if possible. Now, to different causes of infertility, usually we'll say a couple is infertile, or when they have tried to conceive, that means trying to get pregnant after 1 year of trying, you say there is infertility. All right, and the reason why we put 1 year, there is a reason, because we know that the more frequent you have intercourse, the more frequent you try, the higher the chances of conceiving. So for instance, if we have 5 couples, okay, and we have 5 couples, everything perfectly normal, 1 out of the 5 will get pregnant the first month of trying. So that means 20% will get pregnant the first month of trying. But we know that we know that after 3 months of trying, you have over 50% of the couples will get pregnant. And after 12 months of trying, about 92% of the couples will get pregnant. So the remaining 8% not pregnant are the ones who start investigating. So usually we say that it is until 1 year of trying to get pregnant as a couple and nothing is happening that you can seek help. That is the general statement. But however, there are clauses to it. When we say 1 year of trying, that means you are cohabiting together, you are living. These days, because of work, career, we find out that sometimes the couple, they're not staying together. So they may come after 1 year and tell you that they are trying to conceive, but then they're not even having frequent intercourse. Maybe they will tell you that, okay, after the 12 months that we've been trying, we just stayed together for 2 months. That's not enough. Remember what I told you, after 3 months, about 50% staying together, everything okay to conceive. And after 12 months, about 92% will conceive. So they've not even had the frequency of having sex is not even high enough to say, is there something really wrong? Okay, I believe you can hear me. And also,
we can.
Okay, so apart from that, we'll still talk more about all that because there are clauses to it. For instance, if a woman knows that, oh, I have a problem with ovulation, my periods are not regular, and she gets married, she's not the sort of person to sit down and say, oh, they said it is after 1 year of trying. You should seek help to say, okay, doctor, you see, I know that I don't have regular periods. Okay, now I'm married. I can sense that because of my irregular periods, if I'm not menstruating every month, I may not. That means menstruation is a sign that you are ovulating. You are releasing eggs every month. And so if you are not menstruating every month, you could just say that you are not releasing eggs every month. And if you are not releasing eggs every month and you're having intercourse, there's nothing for the sperm to fertilize. Okay, so such a woman can seek help. Or for instance, a man says, oh, she has a history of undescended testes. That, oh, doctor, you see, what happened was my mother told me when I was young that my testes was not in the right place when I was young. So they discovered this when I was 3 years old and they did an operation for me. Okay, because it took a while before they did the operation, the man may have challenges with sperm production. Such a person should not sit down and say, oh, it is 1 year. So what I'm just trying to say is, in essence, once you note that there is a problem, okay, you don't have to wait for 1 year. However, when you are ignorant or you are not aware there is a problem, and after 1 year of cohabiting or having regular intercourse with your husband or your partner, you are not getting pregnant, then you should seek help. And usually when we talk about infertility, we say primary or secondary. Primary infertility is that you have never gotten pregnant at all. Secondary infertility is that you have gotten pregnant regardless of whether it ended up in a miscarriage, in a live birth, or it was an abortion, you have gotten pregnant. Okay, so basically the causes of infertility are the same, whether we have primary or secondary. So generally speaking, it could be, who are the two people involved, the male and the female. Okay, for conception to take place, you need the male and the female. You need sperms. You need the woman to release the egg. You need, because the sperm and the egg meet in the fallopian tube, you need the fallopian tube to be open. And because the uterine cavity, the womb, okay, the cavity of the womb is where the baby implants, okay, and starts growing. You all need all those areas. So when you have issues with any of these that I've described, then it can cause a delay. For instance, if a woman has problems with sperm production, either the sperm count is very low or the sperms are not moving well, if the movement of the sperm we call motility, or the sperms, yes, it has sperms, but the sperms don't look normal. They all look abnormal. An abnormal sperm may not be able to fertilize an egg. So when we have problems with the sperm parameters, which we'll say male factor, then that can cause a delay in conception because the sperms may not be good enough to fertilize the eggs. Also, if, for instance, when we're doing sex, the act of sex, there is a whole process. The man must have an erection. When the man has an erectile dysfunction as a result of maybe medical complications like diabetes, or he has done previous surgeries before that, certain nerves have been damaged, then he may not have an erection. So if he doesn't have an erection, how does he deposit the sperm in the vagina without assistance? So that can also cause a delay. So these are examples of male factors, certain things that can cause in men that can cause delay in conception. Sometimes it could be genetics, okay? The man has some genetic abnormalities, okay? He has he has problems with his genetic makeup, such that the abnormalities in the genetic makeup affects the production of sperms. When that happens, if the sperms are, if he's giving us very low sperm concentration or no sperm in the semen at all, then there will be problems with conception. Okay, these are some of the, the list is ended, so let's endless rather. So let me go to the female. Now for the female, we've talked about it. Number one, she may not be ovulating. There are things that can make a woman not ovulate. She's not releasing eggs. So if she's not releasing eggs, then she can, there's nothing for the sperms to fertilize, even if they're having regular intercourse. A common cause of that is polycystic ovarian syndrome, where there's actually an imbalance in the hormones, and as a result of this hormonal imbalance, the woman does not ovulate all the time. She does not release the egg all the time. So she may have irregular periods, and as a result of that, that can cause a problem with conception. Also, if she has issues, conditions like endometriosis. Endometriosis is when you have the lining of the womb, the cells lining the cavity of the womb, outside the womb, outside the cavity of the womb. And we know that this condition can also affect the quality of eggs, okay? And it can also affect the relationship of the tube and the ovary, such that it can cause adhesion, scarring, and as a result of the scarring, it can affect fertility. All right. Sometimes, because of as a result of previous infection that the woman had, she had sexually transmitted diseases that was poorly treated, or she did not know about. She may have had gonorrhea or chlamydia infection. The thing about these two infections is that for the women, you don't have symptoms, so they're not aware that she has the infection, and as a result, is the tube. So as a result of that, you have blockage of the tube, and when you have blockage of both tubes, what happens is that the sperm and the eggs cannot meet. Okay. Also, of the womb where the baby should be, you have things like fibroids or polyps that can also affect fertility. Okay. Also, the age of the woman, because we now call it age-related infertility, because we know that as a woman gets older, her fertility starts declining, especially after the age of 35. Okay, so it is very, very, very important. It's an important cause of infertility because we call it age-related. So you see, we have women, about just 5% of the women that are in their 40s can get pregnant unassisted. Okay, so these are a few causes of infertility, because I'm also weary of the time. So we don't want to use all our time to discuss all these causes of infertility. So let me stop right now, because there are so many that I've not mentioned, but these are the common causes of infertility.